How's it going, guys? It's John here from Hot Take Hockey, talking about the NHL trade deadline, specifically buyers and sellers, where teams are going to go, current standings, and players available. So let's talk about buyers and sellers. So in the Eastern Conference, Metro Division, buyers, Columbus Blue Jackets, Washington Capitals, Pittsburgh Penguins, and then you could argue the Carolina Hurricanes. But for me, the biggest one that we got to talk about is the New York Islanders, who are a huge surprise at the top of the Metro. And Lou Lamoriello could be really busy this trade deadline. Let's talk about the Atlantic buyers, the Toronto Maple Leafs, Tampa Bay Lightning, and Montreal Canadiens, who have been a huge surprise, and then the Boston Bruins, who probably will look like they're going to stand pat, but I feel like they could make another addition in that top six, second line forward like they did with Rick Nash last year. I feel like that's definitely possibly in their books. Let's talk about sellers in the East. The Rangers are there, the Florida Panthers, the Philadelphia Flyers, Ottawa Senators, and New Jersey Devils, all sellers in a buyer's market this year and who have a lot of pieces up to offer. And let's move on to the Western Conference buyers. Winnipeg Jets, Vegas Golden Knights, San Jose Sharks, Minnesota Wild, Nashville Predators, Edmonton Oilers, who are probably wannabe buyers, Dallas Stars, who are kind of in a panic mode, not really in a playoff position, but they could be there, Calgary Flames, and another wannabe buyers in the Anaheim Ducks. Sellers, I see the Chicago Blackhawks, St. Louis Blues, and Vancouver Canucks. Sorry, Canucks fans again, and then Arizona Coyotes. If I forgot anyone, I think it's more because they're more in the middle. For me, a team like the Colorado Avalanche are a team that's been running on their top line, and they could make another addition. I feel like up front is where they would look. Maybe they try to trade a guy like Varlamov. We've talked about the Varlamov-Bobrovsky possible swap. Obviously, the Avalanche would have to include a couple extra pieces there. And the Detroit Red Wings in the East, obviously sellers once again. So let's talk about the major buyers and sellers. So this is just a discussion video, guys. Not going to do any editing for this video. Just want to hear your thoughts more. So for the New York Rangers, they have a lot to offer, obviously. Like guys like Kevin Hayes, Matt Zuccarello, Kevin Shattenkirk, who kind of looks like an unmovable contract, but I don't know, he's played better recently, so you got to think he could potentially be there. For the Philadelphia Flyers, another sellers. You got to talk about Wayne Simmons, who's a pending UFA, Radko Gudas, maybe one of their goaltenders in Neuwirth or Elliott. That's definitely in discussion. And for the Florida Panthers, to me, it's really interesting. The Panthers have all these pieces that I feel like are enough to get them at least into a wildcard spot, but it hasn't happened for the Panthers. The Panthers had a horrible start to the season. They've been really up and down since. To me, I can't look at that team, and when I look at that team, I don't see players that they want to move. Maybe that James Reimer in the $3.4 million contract, possibly. At the back end, they already made one move with the Edmonton Oilers, but in terms of the Florida Panthers, they don't want to give up one of their top guys. So it'll be interesting for them. The Carolina Hurricanes and Buffalo Sabres, they're definitely in different directions in terms of both outside of the playoff spot, both kind of wanting to sneak in. But for the Sabres, they're in more of a comfortable situation because they're up on the rise. The Hurricanes have been a fringe team up and down for a while and feel like they should be there. The addition of Nino Niederreiter kind of signifies a direction to be a buyer. But I feel like the Hurricanes, if anything, buyers or sellers, they'd be more busy than what the Buffalo Sabres would be. The Minnesota Wild are a team that could be on the down. I've seen predictions all over articles that they could become sellers. That kind of surprises me. But with the injury of Matt Dumba, maybe they try to make an addition into their top four on the back end. Then once he comes back, then the guy that they add just kind of takes the spot, like Nate Prosser, something like that. And then the Oilers, we've talked about it. Whether it's Puljujarvi moving if they're buyers or Nugent Hopkins moving if they're sellers, regardless, Peter Chiarelli's time in Edmonton is running out. They're going to make a move. They're going to make a couple moves probably. They've already made a couple moves. I can't see this team doing nothing for the next 4 or 5 weeks. So they're definitely going to be a team that's busy. And I think a team that definitely is going to be busy is the St. Louis Blues. Another team that's, regardless if you're buyers or sellers, they're going to make a couple moves. I think more if they're buyers, they'll probably be closer to standing pat because the Blues, we saw it last year and the year before. They're kind of, hesitant to lose too many prospects. Of course, in the Ryan O'Reilly trade, they did lose Tage Thompson, but they've got a plethora of like decent prospects where I feel like that Thompson loss kind of makes it up for itself. And then the Dallas Stars, who are in like, they're in a, I call it a panic mode. With the Sagan and Ben situation. Again, I think if they're buyers, I think they'll be pretty aggressive. If they're sellers, I'm kind of scared to see what happens. But I feel like those big moves, I feel like it'd be too hard before the trade deadline. So if those big moves do go down, it'll be draft or off season. And yeah, I think for the rest of the teams, like the Calgary Flames, maybe just a veteran or two. The Avalanche, maybe some depth scoring. The Nashville Predators, the second line winger. The New York Islanders could add all over the place, maybe a veteran goaltender. The Boston Bruins, again, maybe a second line winger like they did with Rick Nash last year. The Toronto Maple Leafs, we've talked about it. Right-handed defenseman, right-handed defenseman, right-handed defenseman. The Pittsburgh Penguins, maybe replacing Derek Brassard in the third line. Brassard really hasn't fit that great. And then the Ottawa Senators have lots of pieces to give up. Obviously, Matt Duchene and Mark Stone pending UFAs. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with them. And then quickly with the New Jersey Devils, I don't think anyone's safe there. So that's it for the video, guys. Just a quick discussion video about buyers and sellers. Hopefully you enjoy the content here, guys. I put a lot of work into editing and stuff. This video I just wanted to make simple. Just a quick discussion video about everything going on. I feel like if I focus more on the content, more on what I'm talking to you guys about, I can get more to you guys. So please subscribe, guys. I really appreciate the support. Let's keep growing. 2.5K, 3K. Let's keep going up. Once we get to certain milestones, merch is going to come out. Hopefully I can organize where eventually I'll meet some of you guys. So I definitely appreciate all the support. Definitely drop a like. It gets more people in here. And hopefully all your comments are opinions on who you feel like could be moved, teams that will be active, and what's next for this channel. We always appreciate content suggestions. So this is John from Untitled Hockey. Again, subscribe, like, and comment. Hopefully you enjoyed. Trade deadline is going to be a lot of fun this year, and we got a lot of content coming to you. So have a good one. Peace out.